One of the problems with recruiting for investment banking is not the knowledge or skills you acquire, but the access to talk with real investment bankers to put your best foot forward. Our sponsor, WSO Academy, can provide those connections with 60 head mentors who are finance professionals at top firms like Goldman, Centerview, and JP Morgan. Imagine being able to get on the phone within 24 hours with one of the Academy's 1,300 mentors right before a critical interview. Get on the waitlist for WSO Academy today by clicking the link in the show notes or by visiting wallstreetoasis.com/academy. Hello and welcome to Investment Banking Insights. My name is Alex Mason and I am so excited to talk to you today. Thank you for checking out this show. This is the show dedicated to helping you learn the investment banking knowledge that you need for your interviews going forward. And guess what? I'm going through this journey with you. I am an incoming MBA student and I am going to be recruiting for investment banking. So what is the purpose of this show? Well, I basically said it, right? Helping you prepare for investment banking interviews. But how are we going to do that on this show? Well, specifically, we're going to be tackling things from mostly the technical perspective, helping you get up to par with your technical knowledge so that you understand exactly what these financial concepts are, what they mean, how things work together, so that when you get in that room or you get on that phone call, you're ready with what you need to know. And then also we'll be exploring some behavioral aspects of the interview process too. Now, who am I and why should you be listening to me, this random person you may have never met before? Well, I have a background as an aerospace engineer. That's my career pre-business school. And I worked in that field for several years. And so I understand how to break down technical problems. I'm definitely a problem solver, can piece together information from a variety of different sources in order to come up with insights that matter. And then specifically related to finance, although I've never worked in finance professionally, which, hey, that's why I'm getting an MBA, right? In order to be able to do that successfully. I also am a podcaster. I have another podcast that I started before this one that's called Stock Stories, where I decode the business behind the stock, studying every component in the S&P 500. I've studied hundreds of businesses on that show and taught myself bit by bit a lot of the fundamentals that relate to things like valuation, things like accounting fundamentals, things that matter for investment banking. And so I have a little bit of background there. But enough about me. I want to talk about you and how I can help you in this show. What is my plan for the show and how am I going to structure it to help you get the information and knowledge that you need? Well, first of all, my plan is for the first few dozen episodes, I'm going to be focusing specifically on accounting fundamentals. And this is for you, all of my non-finance folks out there. How are you going to actually learn all these concepts? Now, if you dive into the famous 400 questions, which if you don't know, is a list of 400 or so questions that's floating around the internet that covers a vast amount of technical information that investment banking candidates should know. Now, here was my problem. I went to these 400 questions and I was like, wow, this is great stuff. But what if I don't understand what the financial statements are in the first place? So I decided to craft the first few dozen episodes of this show to explain those concepts in as basic of a way as I can to you, so that when we get to these 400 or so questions, we can really dig deep because you understand the fundamental concepts. So the first few dozen episodes or so will be focused on things like the balance sheet, the income statement, the cash flow statement. What are the terms within those statements and how do you understand them? How do they complete this broader picture of a business? So we're really going to be focusing on that first. And then within the first few hundred episodes, we'll be digging deep into technical knowledge related to investment banking, things like valuation, comparables, those kinds of things. And so that's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to be spending a lot of time on that. And then what else do you need to know? Well, how often am I going to be releasing this show? Well, I'm recording this in May of 2023. and I'm going to be matriculating in the fall. And so if you're listening to this now with me, hey, you want to be prepared as quickly as I want to be prepared, right? And in general, even if you start recruiting in the fall, you really only have a couple of months to get ready for all these interviews. So my goal is really to have this be a fast-paced podcast and release on a daily basis. And I'm going to see if I can even do multiple times a day. But these episodes are going to be short, they're going to be sweet, they're going to be focused on a specific concept that you can follow along with me and learn as I'm learning in order to prepare for your interviews and for your recruiting process. So that is the purpose of the show. I love learning information and sharing it with others as I learn it. It helps me learn it better. I think it helps other people learn it in a way that's different and interesting. So that's why I started this podcast. And I hope sincerely that you join me on this journey and enjoy the process as much as I am. So, all right, I'm done with all the intro stuff. So go ahead and go to the next episode, and we'll be going over an overview of what investment banking actually is. If you don't understand what IB is, that's the acronym people use, IB. If you don't understand what investment banking really is all about, that's what episode 2 will explain. So I'll see you over there. Thank you so much. This is Alex, and I'll see you soon.